there, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. My name is Deborah. I am the founder of DCL Ministries, the author of Beyond the Face of the movies, soon to be coming out, The Women God Used. I am working hard on this book for you. I really want you to be pleased, but most of all, I want God to be pleased. I want him to be proud of this book and who it's going to help and how it's just going to nurture your heart. I'm also the radio host of a Christian weekly radio show every Sunday, 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, called Dovetails. I know many of you out there have been listening. You've been tuning in and your spirit has been filled. I thank you so much for just supporting us, for reaching out to me. And I just hope many of you out there, if you haven't tuned into Dovetails, it really is for you. It's to help you. It's to spur you on to your destiny. It's to make sure that you achieve the things that God has for your life. So I hope you're tuning in. Please send me a message at www.dclministries.com. And if you haven't tuned into previous shows, check us out at www.blogtalkradio.com/PJC Media. I just love saying that. Today, I want to talk with you about something that I think is extremely important. Many of you out there, you have a vision. Many of you out there, you have a dream that the Lord has laid on your heart. But what we fail to be able to do is articulate that dream. What we fail to be able to do is convey the vision. Many of you out there, you've seen the show Shark Tank. And the worst thing that I've ever seen is when a person comes in and they don't know their business. The numbers are all wrong. They possibly have scaled the business quicker than actually what it should be scaled. And you find that as they're standing there, they didn't really live with their dream. They didn't marinate about the dream. They didn't think about the dream. And this is what I want to talk about today. It's not enough to be a dreamer. It's not enough to have a business idea. It's not enough to have a vision. You have to be able to articulate it. You have to be able to convey it. Because what if God has a partner out there for you, but due to your lack of actually taking time to think about and marinate on your dream, that you're never able to connect with that person? I don't believe the Lord wants that for you. So I want to just share with you some of the little things that I'm learning in my little Christian walk. So I want to lean on this book that I've been reading. It's such a wonderful book. It's Good News for Anxious Christians, and it is 10 Practical Things You Don't Have to Do by Philip Carey. And this is what he has to say about just being able to explain it. Again, not good enough to just have a dream. You have to be able to explain it. He says here, putting the skill into practice means much more than just explaining it. But the fact that it can be explained is important. It means the skill is about something real, something that can be perceived and understood. Did you hear that? That it's about something that's real. It's about something that you can explain, that you've lived with. See, I really, in my life, I always think about the things that are going on, and I think about the visions and the wonderful dreams that the Lord has given me. And I always go to the Bible to find my life. I go to the Bible to find my story. I go to the Bible to find answers for what it is that I'm going through at the moment. So I pulled up a little scripture for you that we can talk about today, and it is from the book of Habakkuk. And what Habakkuk, he's crying out to the Lord for just the different things that are happening in this world that he would love to have answers for, and he just doesn't. So God gives him an answer to one of his questions, and we are reading from Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 2 and 3. Write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets, so that a herald may run with it. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it, and it will certainly come and will not delay. I love this scripture because what it tells us to do is that when God gives you a dream, you write it down. When you write it down, you're actually living with it. Perhaps when you write it down, you realize, wow, I've actually been able to take a look and see who my primary audience is. Who's your secondary audience? Who's your competition? Perhaps by writing it down, you fall in love with the idea all over again. When you're writing it down, you also can take a look and see how it actually works and how it actually doesn't work. Many dreams and visions that we might have, it might be a great idea, but you know what? Is there a demand for it? This is what I believe the Lord is saying. Write it down. Fall in love with it. Live with the idea. Get to know the idea. Start to really tear it apart and put it back together so that the vision can be complete. That when God brings your blessing, you're actually ready for it. Many of you out there, you have a great idea, but you're not actually ready for it. You're not ready to articulate it and explain it. You're not ready to convey it because you actually don't know the idea through and through. So that is my encouragement for you today. Many of you out there have visions, have dreams, have wonderful business opportunities. But unfortunately, because you don't know your idea, because you have decided to just take the ball and run with it, you need to write it down. You need to get to know it. And I pray for you for that this week, that you would take those ideas, journal it out, get to know it. And I pray that you encounter an opportunity, that you would have an opportunity to explain what it is that the Lord has laid on your heart. And though it may tarry, it will come to pass. Oh, I'm a witness to that. I lived with my dream. I have a dream of opening up a theater house someday. I love writing Christian comedy, and I will see it come to pass. But I've written it down, and I know how to articulate it. I know how to convey it. Oh, I hope that for you too. Keep in touch with me, and I will see you next week.